This video is to review the topics from Unit 11, Day 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the quiz for Unit 11. So first we're going to start with vocab. So looking at the circle on the right, we are going to match each item to its correct vocab term. So the first one is line RT because it has an arrow. So line RT is only intersecting the circle in one spot, which means it is a tangent. So J. ERA. So when you are doing an arc, you need to follow in that order. So E to R to A is 3 letters and it is bigger than half of the circle. So this would be a major arc. Point R. So point R is where the tangent line is intersecting the circle. So that is going to be our point of tangency F. Number 4, it doesn't have arrows, so this is segment EA. So it is starting at E and it is ending at A. So both points are on the circle, which is a chord, letter B. AH is a segment that goes from the center of the circle to a point on the circle. So that is going to be our radius, G. AR is an arc. It's only got 2 letters, so that's going to be a minor arc, which is E. Point H is in the center of the circle, so that's going to be A. EA, now this is different than number 4. Make sure you know the difference between these. So number 4, it was just the segment going from E to A. This is the line that is extending through the circle. It's intersecting the circle in 2 spots, so this is going to be a secant, which is H. RE is going from one side of the circle to the other, and it is going through the center of the circle, so it is a special type of chord called the diameter. And then EAR goes from E to A to R on the outside of the circle, which is half the circle, so a semicircle, letter I. Given circle K, solve for X. So these are both a radius of the circle. Remember, in your circle, all of your radii are congruent, so these are going to have the same measure. So we have 2x plus 1 is equal to 19. We can subtract 1 on both sides, so 2x equals 18. When we divide, x is 9. In number 12, they're also congruent, so we have 3x equals 6x minus 9. We get negative 3x equals negative 9, and when we divide, that gets us positive 3. In number 13, given circle Y, arc OC is 7x plus 9. Arc CK is 4x plus 27, and arc KE is 56. Solve for x and find the requested arcs. So first of all, if we know that OE is going through the center of the circle, that's going to make a diameter, which means these 3 arcs together are going to equal 180 degrees. So 7y plus 9 plus 4x plus 27 plus 56 equals 180. So we can combine our numbers. So when we do that, the x's combine to give us 11x, and then we have 9 plus 27 plus 56, which is 92 equals 180. We can subtract 92 from both sides, so 11x equals 88. When we divide, x is 8. Then we want to find our arcs. So first, let's start by substituting in x for the 2 arcs that we know. So 7 times 8 plus 9 gets us 65 degrees. 4 times 8 plus 27 is 59 degrees. So if I want to find OH, well, OH is has vertical angles, which means that if the vertical angles are congruent, these arcs are going to be congruent, so OH has to be 56. O, substituting in, that's 60. CK is 59 by substituting. HE, so again, if we look at the diameter, HE is on the same side as the 56 from OH, so we can do 180 minus 56, and we get 124 degrees. And then our last arc that we want to find is HCE. So we have to follow the circle around, H to C to E. We can do it 2 ways. We can either subtract the arc not included from 360, or we can add the 4 arcs that we put together. So when we add that, we would get 236 degrees. It would be the same as if we did 360 minus 124, we'd also get the same. Find x. So in number 14, 37 is an inscribed angle, and it's intercepting this arc. So if we double our angle, we get the arc is 74 degrees. Now, we have a whole circle that is 360. If we know these chords are congruent, these arcs are also congruent. So I have 2x plus 74 is equal to 360, and I can find my missing arcs. So I can subtract 74 from both sides first, and we get 2x equals 286. When we divide by 2, we get that each arc is 143 degrees. Number 15, x is an angle that is inside our circle, but it's not at the center of the circle. So we want to add our arcs and divide by 2 or multiply by half. So we would have x equals 1/2 58 plus 144. And we get that x is 101 degrees. In number 16, our angle is outside the circle, so it is intercepting these 2 arcs that we want to subtract. This time, x is an arc, so it's going to involve a little more solving. So we have our angle 22 degrees equals 1/2 x minus 54. We want to put x first because it's the arc that is further away from the angle. So to get rid of the half, we multiply both sides by 2. We get 44 equals x minus 54. We can add 54 to both sides, so 98 equals x. Number 17, we have this angle 103 that is intercepting this arc. So if we double our angle, 2 times 103 will get us 206 degrees. We know that the remainder then of the circle would be x. So x is going to be equal to 360 minus 206. Which is 154 degrees. Number 18, our angle is in the circle but not at the center. So we have 75 is equal to, it's intercepting these arcs, and we are going to add those arcs and multiply by a half. So 1/2 of 51 plus x. Because we're adding, it doesn't matter which arc goes first. So to get rid of the 1/2, we're going to multiply both sides by 2. 150 equals 51 plus x. Remember, you're not doubling what's in the parentheses because the 2 and the 1/2 are going to cancel each other out. So we just subtract 51 from both sides and we get x is 99 degrees. Number 19, again, our angle is outside the circle. It's intercepting the arcs that are 44 and 206. So we would have x equals 1/2 of 206 minus 44. Remember to put your bigger arc first when you are subtracting. So we would get x is equal to 81 degrees. Number 20, solve for x and y. So in this case, remember that we talked about the opposite angles in a quadrilateral are going to be supplementary. So we have 93 and 4x plus 27 are going to equal 180, so we can solve for x first. So combine our numbers, we have 4x plus 120 equals 180. We can subtract 120 from both sides. 4x equals 60. Divide by 4 and x is 15. The other set of opposite angles are also going to be supplementary. So we have 7y minus 22 plus 62 equals 180. So we get 7y plus 40 equals 180. 7y is equal to 140. So y is 20. Number 21, there are 2 concentric circles. So remember, concentric circles mean that they have the same center and one circle is smaller inside the other. So it would create like a donut shape or a target shape. The radius of the larger circle is 18 and the distance between the 2 circles is 6. What's the radius of the smaller circle? So if I draw my bigger circle and a littler circle inside. They have the same center. The radius to the outer circle is 18, and the distance between the two circles is 6. So to get our radius, we can take out what the difference is between the two circles to get that radius. So 18 minus 6 gets us a radius of 12 meters. Number 22, given circle F, we see that we have a couple of different angles. So we want to find these 4 missing things. So first, I can use these angles that are given to us to label the arcs on the outside. So if this is 31, we can double that to get that this arc is 62 from A to B. The angle 28 is intercepting this arc, so we can double that to get 56 degrees. And our last angle given to us, 63, is intercepting the arc from A to D, so we can double that to get 126 degrees. So right now that answers a couple of ones. We know that the measure of arc AB or AD is 126, and we know that the arc AB is 62 degrees. Now we want to find the measure of angle ADC. Well, ADC is intercepting the arc from here to here. So we need to know what BC is. So in our circle, if we have 3 arcs already, 360 minus 126 minus 62 minus 56 gets us 116 degrees. So we can add those two together. 62 plus 116 gets us 178. And because we're going to an angle, we can cut that in half. So divide by 2. And we get that this angle is 89 degrees. The other angle that we are trying to find is angle DEC. Well, DEC is not at the center of the circle. It's intersecting these two arcs, 62 and 56. So we would have 1/2 of 56 plus 62. So we want to take half of the sum of the angles because it's inside the circle, and we get 59 degrees.